morning, everyone. My name is Larry. I'm going to be doing the ARTIS products webinar this morning. I'd like to thank everybody for taking time out of their busy schedule to attend the ARTIS webinar. If you have any questions, we do have a chat box. Please type your questions in the chat box, and we'll answer them at the end of the webinar. We're going to start off our ARTIS products we started building pumps back in 2009. We are part of WFCO products, our WFCO electronics, which supplies power converters and inverters to the RV industry. We do have quite a variety of models for the RV and marine pump industry. And we'll get started by going to the next page here, which is our manufacturing label. Our label will give you your model number and also give you the flow rate, the voltage that you can hook to in the amount of amps that it will pull, plus the pressure settings. The flow rates, I guess. So that also gives you some cautions on here and warnings about what to do and what not to do with the water pump. Our water pump operation, the voltage is 12 volts for our RV market and marine market. Park models will run off the AC voltage, which is roughly around 110 volts. We do have 4 valves in our pumps versus the 3 valves. 4 valves will give you more flow, less noise, lower amp draw. Your flow control, additional valve, will give you steady flow with a constant pressure, especially on low flow rates, eliminating the on-off cycle and no surgery as our introductory pump. Our water pump operations, they are all self-priming, height up to 9 feet. Now, if some of the valves have been sitting on a shelf for a while and they're really dry, you may want to pour a little water in there to get them to prime, because if the valves dry out too much, they'll have a harder time priming. But most of them that I've tested a lot of these pumps. Most of the time they will prime just fine even when they're dry. The 5-valve pumps, which is an upgrade to the 5-gallon pump, supports multiple fixture operations. Those are better for if you have multiple fixtures inside your RV or a park model. It does have a flow control valve. It's also a 12-volt power input. Sanitizing the water pumps and water system, as according to ANSI A119.2, you need to complete this at least once a year, according to their outline. The ounces of bleach equals gallons of tank capacity, or times 0.13 per gallon. You want to contact in the water tank, including the water pump and water system, should be no less than 4 hours for the bleach. It's really better to run it, leave it set for like overnight, 8 hours or 8 to 12 hours. It will remove any algae or mold buildup inside the system. Steps for sanitizing the water pumps and water systems, according to the ANSI A119.2. You want to fill the water tank with a solution. Open the farthest fixture from the water pump and run water until you smell fresh bleach is noticed, and then turn the fixture off. You want to do the same with the next closest fixture. You want to follow the same procedure. You want to continue this procedure until all fixtures have been operated and the smell of bleach is noticed. Let it stand for a minimum of 4 hours before operating. After standing for 4 hours, fill drain tank with fresh water and flush system by opening up all faucets for approximately 20 to 30 minutes or until the water runs clean, or you don't notice the smell of bleach. The sanitizing will be completed then. If you have a house filter, you may want to replace the house filter at that time, because they'll probably be saturated with bleach. Issues with the water pumps that we see on our side, like low flow rate, rapid cycling, No flow, noise, runs when the faucet's closed, fails to prime. Well, a lot of it has to do with, or some of it has to do with water strainer, restricted, sight glass to inspect, open to clean. Now, when you open these up, these lids, you'll see a screen on the inside. Now, depending on which way that screen is located on the pumps, now I think the new ones are made to where they're sighted in front of the pump so you can actually see it without removing the pump or moving the connection around. But if you have to, you can take the top off and pull the screen out to clean the screen off. You'll be able to see the debris a little bit better that might be stuck to the screen itself. The tank strainer restricted, located at the water pump supply hose, can become clogged. So that's part of the screen or the in-tank filter. That one's a little bit harder, I think, to see. You'd actually have to blow air through the hose to clear it off. Debris inside pump valves. This will stop the valves from sealing correctly. This will cause low flow. Will also cause rapid cycling or no flow, depending on how much debris is actually caught in the valves. Plastic shavings are the most common. Usually those are from when the lines are being cut or the holes are being drilled out of the fresh water tank. Low flow rate, rapid cycling, no flow, or noise. Winterizing the valve located in the line before the pump allows RV antifreeze to bypass the water tank into the system. Can be plugged by foreign material. Results, low flow with excessive pump noise. The water pump runs with faucet closed. Issues that are caused by that is no water in the tank. Check that the tank is at least a quarter full. Low battery voltage. Check the voltage is a minimum of 12 volts or above. Leak in the plumbing system. Pressure test the system at 50 psi. It should hold the pressure for 10 minutes, a period with zero pressure drop. Failed pressure switch uses contact points that open and close similar to a residential switch. The switch could be worn or the contact points could be damaged or carboned up, depending on which way the pressure switch is failing. Water pump fails to prime. The pump strainer, you want to visually inspect the strainer to see if it's clogged. If it's full of debris, open up the inspection cap and clean. Reinstall the cap by hand. Do not use a wrench to tighten the cap or to screw the filter onto the input side of the pump. Over tightening will cause it to crack. It will also crack the inlet of the pump itself. So if you hand tighten, that should be enough pressure to keep it from sucking air in. The tank strainer, located on the inside of the tank at the pump outlet, may be clogged from tank debris. To clean that's where I was talking a little bit earlier about the popping a little air in there and blowing the debris away from the filter. You'll want to sanitize the tank after that because depending on what type of compressed air you use, it could have oil residue inside the lines. You want to make sure you want to get that cleaned out. Water pump fails to prime. Debris inside the pump head. Remove the inlet hose and look inside the pump inlet port. If debris is seen, the pump may need to be replaced. What happens when you get a lot of debris inside the pumps, like plastic shavings, what it'll do is it'll puncture holes through the diaphragm. And without really doing some extensive testing on the diaphragm itself, it's hard to see those little punctures. But it's enough to cause an issue with the either priming or pushing the water through the system. Air leak at the inlet water line. Pump will suck air in, causing the valves to malfunction. Use the inspection cap to examine the water strainer for air bubbles. If air bubbles are seen, tighten all connections. Water pump replacement. Tools required. You'll need a screw gun, screw bits, Phillips square, torque, depending on what the manufacturing used. Wire connectors, butt connectors, wire nuts, bell crimps. Scotch locks are not recommended by us because they do work themselves loose after some vibration from pulling down the road. Wire cutters, a small pipe wrench, pressure gauge, and towels to clean up any water that might spill out. Water pump replacement. The first thing you want to do is turn off the power to the water pump. You You want to open up a faucet to eliminate any pressure that's built up inside the water system. You want to disconnect the power wires at the pump, disconnect the inlet and outlet water lines, remove the 4 screws from the foot pad, and pump is now ready to be removed. Water pump replacement. What's next is before installing the water pump, operate it outside the coach. Hook it up to a 12-volt battery power to operate the pump. To reinstall the pump, follow the steps from the previous slide in reverse in order. Now you are ready to operate the pump. So basically it's just reverse of deinstallation. You want to install it in reverse of what we were talking about in the last screen. Water pump replacement. What's last? Operate the water pump and purge all air out of the system. If you have air, you leave if you shut the valve off and you got air in there, it's going to compress and it's going to cause the pump to run on and off continuously without the water or the air being purged out of the system. Ensure there is water in the water tank. Turn the water pump power switch to the on and open the kitchen faucet. Wait until you hear the pump turn on and for the water to begin to flow out of the kitchen faucet. You want to repeat these steps to all faucets, including the outside shower, until the air is purged from the system. Water pump replacement. Final testing to avoid leaks. Perform a 10-minute test on the system to ensure the water system has no leaks. Install the residential water gauge to the city water. If the city water has a backflow valve, install a cone-shaped water strainer. And this is just to protect the system from foreign debris. Open a faucet to start operating the water pump. Turn off the faucet. When the water pump turns off, record the pressure setting and let it stand for 10 minutes. You should see a 0 pressure drop in the gauge. So that would show you that the system is good. If you do have a pressure drop, you want to record it, and then you want to check for leaks in the water system. If there is a leak, find and repair it, then perform the test again. A lot of times you'll find just loose connections. If you just hand tighten them up a little bit more, it'll stop that water from losing pressure on that system. Winterize the water system. The only used and approved potable RV antifreeze. I hope I said that. Only use approved potable RV antifreeze. Sorry. No automotive antifreeze. Winterized kit installed at the inlet side of the water pump. Follow the instructions to protect the system in the storage during the winter. A lot of times if you don't winterize the pumps in the wintertime and you leave that pump full of water, it will crack that housing. Winterizing the water system. Winter storage. Winterizing should be a standard function for winter storage to avoid water freezing, avoid damage to the water lines, avoid damage to the water pump. De-winterizing, when removing the unit from storage, sanitize the water system, and then you want to test your system and check for damages. Winterizing the water system. Shop air compressor use. Do not blow out the water lines with a shop air compressor. Could contaminate the water lines with oil. Sanitize water lines if shop air was used in the past. Taking time to sanitize and winterize the water system will keep your RV water system in working order for many years to come. All right, and that's it. We have any questions or? Okay, if there aren't any questions, we want to thank everyone for attending. If I went a little fast and you need me to go over some stuff, please let me know. It's my first time doing a webinar myself. My name is Larry. I do a lot of pump warranty work here and also do a lot of testing on the IQC side of it. But I would like to thank everyone for attending and thank you for your time out of your busy schedule.